And good evening. Welcome to Washington. I'm Bill Hemmer in tonight for Brett Baer. From the art of the deal to no deal at all. President Trump is dismissing two advisory groups made up of top American CEOs, and some of those executives had already defected after withering criticism was directed at the White House. The president's contention is that both sides in the Virginia matter share the blame, and that is where we begin tonight. Team Fox coverage media analyst Howard Kurtz looks at the media backlash so far, but we begin with correspondent Kevin Corke on the administration now in damage control. And Kevin, good evening to you.
And good evening, Bill. For a man who prides himself on building winning coalitions in business and of late in politics, President Trump's remarks on Charlottesville yesterday really, frankly, left him quite isolated, and that includes two groups that usually back him. After a wave of CEOs resigned from his advisory councils following his response to the deadly rally in Charlottesville, President Trump today reacted by abruptly dissolving the groups, tweeting rather than putting pressure on the business people of the Manufacturing Council and Strategy and Policy Forum, "I am ending both. Thank you all." A change in tone from yesterday when he tweeted that CEOs dropping out were grandstanders and he had plenty of replacements. Members had begun to distance themselves from the Trump White House because of his contention that both sides at the rally were to blame for the violence that ended with one woman being killed.
You had a group on one side that was bad, and you had a group on the other side that was also very violent. And nobody wants to say that, but I'll say it right now.
But drawing a parallel between the groups at the rally unleashed a torrent of political criticism, from left to right, from former presidents and governors to sitting U.S. senators, all in condemnation and pushing the president for a tougher stance.
That is an element that is grabbed onto him for their own purposes and doesn't represent the ideology or the beliefs, I believe, in most instances of Donald Trump.
But the president's suggestion that alt-left protesters were part of the problem in Charlottesville drew praise from former Klansman David Duke, who tweeted, "Thank you, President Trump, for your honesty and courage to tell the truth about Charlottesville," and condemned the leftist terrorists in BLM Antifa. It's the latest challenge for White House Chief of Staff John Kelly, who stared at the floor as his boss launched into a stream of consciousness Tuesday, in stark contrast to his comments just the day before. In a two-pronged approach to manage the fallout, the White House today named longtime aide Hope Hicks interim communications director, filling, at least for now, the post vacated by Anthony Scaramucci. Fox News also obtained White House talking points about the president's response to the rally, which encouraged surrogates to say the president was entirely correct, that both sides of the violence in Charlottesville acted inappropriately and bear some responsibility, and that the president condemned with no ambiguity the hate groups fueled by bigotry and racism over the weekend, and did so by name yesterday. But for the media, that will never be enough. Acknowledging that a similar rally is now planned for Lexington, Kentucky, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell issued a statement tonight, and in it he said that there are no good neo-Nazis. He went on to say anyone who backs their views don't espouse American ideas of freedoms. A not-so-subtle shout across the bow, perhaps, at a president who's gone to great lengths, Bill, to criticize him in the past.
To Lexington in a moment. From Washington, though, Kevin Corke with us tonight. Kevin, thank you for